Bienvenidos, soy la Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very special full moon in Cancer reading. So, let's get started. You may have been experiencing a lot of emotional things. And our first card of the deck is the Magician. This is a great deal. At the bottom of the deck, we are followed with, some tea from the Knight of Cups. We then have the High Priestess. This is looking very good for a full moon reading. We have the Three of Cups. The Queen of Swords. She's my favorite. The Three of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. Temperance. I know someone's going to get triggered with this one. And then we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. Beautiful. Love to see it even on a full moon. The Sun. We then have the Nine of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles. The Hermit and the Fool. I'm going to leave it here. I have a couple of more cards that I feel like I will be needing to pull, but there's a lot to cover right now, a lot of lessons, a lot of feelings to address and clarify. So, the Magician. Well, let's get started with the Cancer full moon. I am no astrologer. I don't study astrology very much, but I do try to research and look into the understanding of placements, how they affect, everybody. And it is a very, very interesting science, need I say. Science and art, a specific study in and of itself, right? So, Cancer is a zodiac that is an element of water. It has a lot to do with emotion. I mean, all the water signs have to do with emotion, but the Cancer zodiac is specifically interesting because it is one that is the most associated with what I like to refer to as individuals that are hard-boiled eggs, which is they are tough on the outside, but once you give it a slight crack, you're gonna find the inside is relatively soft. And just maybe I shouldn't say an hard-boiled egg, but more just an egg in general, because you might have someone that's a little bit more solidified on the inside if they're a hard-boiled egg, or they could still be a pretty, raw egg in and of itself on the inside. It says a lot. Neither here nor there, but what the lessons are now is that there's a lot of emotions right now, a lot of emotions. And I was going to check my watch because I have my watch set up to show the lunar placements. Technically, if you're on the Pacific Standard Time on Los Angeles time, may our prayers go out to them at this difficult time. The full moon is supposed to happen on the 13th. And so we're transitioning. So tonight and also tomorrow night, it is a positive chance to be able to put your manifestations into practice. But also, if you had manifestations that you made during the new moon and you've experienced a lot of changes, a lot of new lessons to learn from during this time frame, it's not a coincidence. There are things that you are focusing on in your real life, and this Cancer sign, this full moon in this Cancer sign, kind of gave you a good shake as to like, hey, you keep asking for this particular item, but this is what needs to be addressed right now, right? And so if there's any immersion, if there's any emotion that needs to be addressed, needs to be taken care of, needs to be really taken into consideration, really needs to be ruminated on, today and or tonight and tomorrow night are the times to do it. So one of the things is that there's a lot of emotions that are coming up that need to be addressed. A lot of emotional things that are coming up and need to be addressed, whether it's because they've been suppressed or whether it's because you just don't have time for it right now, or more pressing issues just keep coming up that it's just falling on the back burner. It needs to be addressed now. So if you had intentions, not to say throw them out for the next full moon, no, but be sure to include this in your current manifestations. There's still time to add that to your intentions list. So do so if you can. And also, if you get a chance, I just shared this guidance right before this reading. But if you have a chance, as the full moon is coming up, make yourself some tea. If you are into herbology of any way, shape, or form, and you know more or less what types of tea are needed, choose the tea that you need. If you need peace, drink some chamomile. If you have anything in regards to healing, mint tea would be really great. There's so many different variations of teas and what they stand for. The point is, brew your tea of choice. And as the moon is coming up, have a moment to sit. Take time to actually take time to make the tea. Sit down, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Focus on putting into the tea what it is that you want to absorb into your body, all the things that you're wanting to manifest, all the things that you inherently have been wanting to change. Like, really put that into this tea as you blow on it to cool it down. And as you sip it, imagine your cells absorbing the healing that you've been looking for, whether it's spiritual, emotional, physical, any type of healing that it is that you're seeking at this time. Take the time to really envision absorbing this. And because it is a Cancer full moon, it's a time to reflect on all these emotions, whether you feel like you didn't approach things well. These are all lessons, right? Or whether you feel like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have reacted this way. Take time to ruminate on that and just think about it. Like, really, really think of what you did not put into practice or what you did put into practice. And if it's like, hey, you know what, I'm glad I was able to address this the way that I did, that's good. And right now is the time to actually slow down and feel it, right? Okay. So with all that guided messages that have just popped through, let's go through and finish with this reading. We have the Magician. Again, perfect timing. We have the full moon, the perfect time for manifestation. And this is the time that, again, if you haven't set your intentions or need to add to your intentions, this now is the time to do so. Not just that, but the Magician is someone, this is just that reminder, right? A lot of the times my readings I find have been coming as a reminder because these are messages that are often being repeated, which lets me know that you guys are coming back to watch them, and I appreciate it. I hope that these messages serve you well. And speaking of messages serving you well, don't forget the power and abilities that you have to really set forth whatever it is that you want to achieve, accomplish, manifest. You are more than capable, able. It is possible. Make sure you make the time to do so. This is a message for a very select few of you, if not all of you, because even I have to do it, right? Make time. Make time. I get it. I have a very full schedule. There's a lot of things that I do, a lot of things that I take on that become overwhelming, and rest. I've been resting more, even if I don't want to rest. My body has been making sure that I rest. But I'm not saying this to make it feel like it's a task, but you need to do it for you. This is your spiritual healing. Make the time to work on this small thing. That it's like a seed. It's a very small thing, but it can grow to many bountiful and abundant possibilities if you take the time to sow that seed. Ooh, that I didn't even know that was gonna come out, and it came out way, I don't want to say way more intense because I don't want it to have a negative connotation, but there's a lot of weight to that. Mind you, I'm just here as a vessel to share any guided messages. So moving forward with that, especially since we're talking about the Cancer placements, we are addressing this through the Knight of Cups. Look at that side eye. So bombastic. There's a lot of tea. There's a lot of tea coming out right now. And if you have your tea or a cup of coffee, anything, hydrate. Let's spill into this tea. So, the Knight of Cups, a lot is coming out, especially if you've noticed it. I'm pretty sure you have. It's that there's a lot going on right now, a lot going on all over the world. Very, very intense, very, very painful, very, very heavy. And sometimes you think of, like, with everything that's going on in this world, how are people like this? And I refer to, like, some people that are super self-serving in a very selfish way, where you kind of think, you're reminded of your own humbleness, right? So the Knight of Cups is that, with this little side eye that's being served, is kind of that reminder as to it's hard to accept sometimes that there are individuals out there where you're kind of like, how are people like this? Why do people come in with this? Trust me, I get it. And this is also, again, as I was saying, you serve yourself that tea, you ruminate and reflect on the lessons that you learned, even if they were in the past day, okay? Because this happened for me. I got served some hot tea in which let me sit back and really reflect, and emotions came up that I thought I had overcome, but and what I realized is, like, still have overcome that situation that I'm thinking of currently. And yet I realized, I was like, as painful as it was for me, as much as it hurt, I realized that I made the right decisions. And while it took time to accept it, I'm glad that I am surrounded by protection and love. But that tea was there. That tea was served piping hot. And I have a friend who, we just talked about this before this reading also. And it's funny because it's that right now, it's like that tea is there. It's healing tea, it's chisme tea, gossip tea, whatever it is, that tea is being served to you, with that little side eye being served as well, thinking, man, this is something to reflect on. That's why this is here. You're leveling up. And if you feel like, hey, why does this keep happening? I've said this before and I'll say it again. This just serves as a reminder that there's something that needs to change in our actions. Otherwise, the lesson won't keep presenting itself. So approach it differently. And you are that capable of doing so because we have the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess here, as you can see, a little bit of a side eye as well. What is it that you want to change? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What is it that you want to manifest? Remember, we are in the time of manifestation, and that's why our High Priestess is here, serving that reminder that you are beyond capable. It's just reinforcing the message from the Magician. You are that bitch. You're magical. You're powerful. You are more than capable. Make that time, though. Make that time, though. And continuing with serving tea, we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is celebration. Ooh. Ooh. Celebration. Whether you're coming together, making time with people to share the hot goss, sharing that cheeseman, or just getting together to celebrate something good. Celebrate whether it's good news of, being able to have overcome something, or, just finding that support system, spending time with that support system. This is what this is that reminder of. It is, and that in and of itself, even if it's over difficult news or to discuss difficult situations, the Three of Cups is just that reminder of community. It's that reminder of community that, while, and mind you, it's Three of Cups. That doesn't necessarily mean you need a Nine of Cups type of community. Three of Cups always serves just as well. Hot tea, hot coffee, good chisme, and good support shared amongst good, healthy friends. That being said, we do have the Queen of Swords. This is my zodiac card. I love her, but mostly because this is that reminder also of to cut the bullshit, right? To cut the bullshit. Like I was saying, you need to make time. And yes, sometimes we're super busy, whether it's because of family, work, emergencies that have occurred. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the lowest of us. It happens in the most inopportune times. But if you take, let's say, 15 minutes, right? Sometimes we don't even have 15 minutes. But what can you shift around? Don't bullshit yourself. What can you shift around to make this count, to make this work for you? Because essentially this is an investment in yourself. Let's cut the bullshit. Where can you cut 15 minutes of your time? Could you cut it from like doom scrolling? Whatever you're going to be doom scrolling is going to be there. It's not like it's being asked of you. You need to do this 15 times, 15 minutes, 10 times a day, every single day, nonstop. No, you can do this before the end of tomorrow, to take 15 minutes for yourself to really try to manifest what it is that you're asking for, what it is that you've been praying for, what it is that, you really want, in the span of 10 to 15 minutes, just for one day. One day. So don't bullshit yourself. Cut that shit out. Where can you cut that? Now we move on to the Three of Pentacles. Similarly to the Three of Cups, it's just that community, understanding that it is there, and it's followed by the Two of Pentacles, right? It's that decision, it's that choice, it's that balance of really understanding how to, it's weighing your odds, right? So you have a support system. You have a support system that is starting to kind of express that there is assistance out there. And in order to continue receiving assistance must be provided. However, there is a sense of pressure here. And so you're making that choice, right? There's a choice that must be made in regards to having that understanding of whether or not you must repay the assistance that you have acquired, because at some point that has to be, it's due, and trying to make time for yourself to have some type of emotional peace. Like, yeah, I want to do this because I don't do enough for myself. At some point, there has to be, um, okay, I'm trying to, there's a message that's coming through, and I'm trying to be very delicate in the way that I deliver this message. Essentially, it's, you know, there are little things that you want, there are things that you want to enjoy in, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And because you keep doing, and let's just use this term, but like you're hustling, right? You're constantly hustling to try to make things work, to make ends meet. And there comes a time where that reminder of um, that reinvestment or those things that are owed is coming up. And so the reality of it is that yes, there's things that we do to try to escape those feelings of responsibility, those reminders. However, as much as we all have, the majority of us have been there where it's like, man, I just can't today. For example, I need a drink. I need a drink. It's been a tough day. It's been a tough situation. It feels nonstop. I need a drink. If you don't already have that drink, or if no one else is investing to put that into you, and you know that while it feels like a small amount of change, how many times are you reaching that point where, you look back on it, and because it's this Pentacles, we're referring to finances. Let's say you've had 4 of those days in a week. That builds up, right? And it's a small amount, but could that have been reinvested in a better way? And granted, it's we all hit those lows where it's a escapism realistically, but how many times are you going to escape, and how is that solving your problem long term? You really need to start rethinking this. This is what this message is coming in. And it's not like it's not going to get better, right? But that's what this is trying to tell you, is you need to start making those choices. And as much as it sucks, if you keep making those right quote unquote choices, temporarily will solve your problem in the long run, even if it's one small problem at a time. Because remember that, it's, you don't break down a pyramid by taking a block at the bottom. You break down a pyramid by taking a little block from the top, little by little, right? Oof, I don't know why that's the message that came out, but it is. Moving on. Now, I know, and again, as I spoke to my friend before this reading, I know that not everyone is patient, but that is a very big lesson to learn. Patience is key. And Temperance is here to remind you it is time to be patient, especially since we have the Ten of Wands. So I'm going to make sure I don't say the wrong card again. But the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is just that reminder of this is an end of a cycle. All that you've been carrying is coming to an end point. Everything that has been building is reaching its final cycle, right? And so as we are beginning the start of the calendar year, one of the things that this is reminding you is of the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is that, I want to say the word harsh, is that harsh reminder of sometimes, despite how much we hate a situation, despite, how difficult the situation has become, it is necessary to try to look at it from a different standpoint. This is also a lot of people, and some people are, it's just in a perspective. Sometimes that is a very, 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 very heavy and difficult thing to do. And I get it. I've been there. I get it. Where someone may have wronged you, peoples may have wronged you, a situation may not have gone the way that you want. It may have involved some type of backstabbing or, finding out who inherently didn't have your best interest at heart. And as much as we don't want to and we feel hurt, betrayed, sometimes, most of the time, because these are lessons, you do have to take that step back just to say, I understand what could have led to those actions. And then acknowledge, yes, it sucked. It sucked that I had to be the one to inherit that hurt and pain, that I had to be the scapegoat, that I had to be the one that was thrown under the bus, that I had to be the one that had to deal with that, with the outcome of the situation, that I'm the one that was hurt while someone else was pardoned for what the outcome was. So many different things. And yes, it sucks to say, like, yeah, I get it. But that's the thing, is that you have to get it. And I mean, get it, like, you have to really say, like, yes, I understand that there is a different perspective on that. While I may not be happy about it, while I may be super upset because it had to happen, that acknowledgement has to be there. To say, okay, universe, I get it. I get it. It sucks, but I get it. Unfortunately, that is something that must be done. On a lighter note, and I'd be like, girl, this is supposed to be a good reading. It is. We have the sun. The sun is that reminder that, this song came out, it's just like, the sun will come out tomorrow. I'm not a fan of the actress nor the song, but that's what came up. This is just that reinforced message of, like, the world is still revolving. The sun will still come up. And right now that we have the full moon, there's lots of light. There's light at the end of the tunnel, right? That sun is happiness. That sun is warmth. The sun is just that reinforcement that the sun is that reassurance that a new day will begin. Now, that is followed with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, mind you, we're talking about here the Pentacles. Well, this is a lesson for, and this is kind of breaking out right into, like, little sections. So these are just reminders, like, of the tough lessons, that there are good things that come out of the tough lessons, right? It's not all bad. This is that growing financial resource support that you've been looking towards. It's just that reassurance is the word I want to use, is when you make the healthier choices in regards to managing resources and trying to overcome any resource lack. If you keep, making the wiser choices, if you make wiser choices that will eventually help you out, you will have that success. Like, don't give up hope, but you gotta, at some point, you have to stop feeding the negative option, which is, the small band-aid of, like, again, just using the term, it's just like, going for a drink, going for a few drinks. Eventually, you got to stop feeding that part and start feeding the parts like, you know what, the wiser decision is going to inherently make me happier, is going to relieve a lot of stress. And you will build those resources that you need, but you, going back, you need to cut the bullshit and start choosing. You are the only one that can choose. No one can choose for you. You need to make those wiser choices for yourself. And you do, and you will get the support. You will get continued support, but you will only get support when you make the wiser choices. See, I like wiser choices versus the right choices. Because, I mean, that's not up to me to say what's the right choice and what's the bad choice, right? It's what's the wiser choice for you. So, moving on. We have, and that was followed by the Five of Pentacles. Yes, there is some lack right now. This is just the reminder that while there might be that difficulty currently, you know, of observing the resource lack or resource difficulties, it's just a reminder. You have the choice between 1 and 2, right? You do want to stay in lack, or do you want to go into abundance? It's just that callback. It's just that reminder, reinforcing that. And realistically, all that is because it's just that reminder that the choice is yours, and you have the ability to make that work for you in the best way for yourself. That is not to say, well, I don't know why that term came out. That's not to say that it's all bad. That's why the sun is here. That there is sunshine after the rain. But now we have the Hermit. So mind you, that reminder's put there. We have the Hermit. The Hermit is here to tell you, and mind you, I did tell you, I did express and share with you that it is time to reflect. And that's why the Hermit's here. That Hermit serves as a reminder that it is time to reflect. You need to go inside yourself and find that spark of light. As you see here, we have the star. The star is always a symbol of light and hope. You want to hope for the best. You need to choose the decisions that will lead you to the best, right? That's why the Hermit is here. You really need to make that reflection when you want to start making those healthy, wise choices for yourself. That's what the Hermit is here. But we also have the Fool. The Fool. And in one way, shape, or another, we are a fool. The term acting brand new is very much associated with the Fool card. So, I'm trying to think what I want to express. So when the Nine of Pentacles came out, and I don't read the cards in reverse only because regardless of how the placement of the cards are, whatever cards come behind it usually just reinforces the lesson of the reading, right? When the Nine of Pentacles came out, it came out in reverse. It was then followed by the Five of Pentacles upright, which is kind of saying the same thing. Their Five of Pentacles typically is associated with financial instability, a lack of resources, a lot of difficulty, right? As depicted in the Rider-Waite deck as as what looks to be like impoverished people, and it looks like they're standing outside of a church. Whereas in the deck that I used for the solstice readings, solstice and equinox readings, we just had one, which was the little match girl story that it was depicted on there, where it was again a what looked to be a church window, and the little match girl burning the last match that they had, where if they kept going, the financial stability or assistance would have been there, right? And so they burned their last match. So when these two cards come out, we have this card that had come out here, and that's just like, it's again stating that yes, whether it's financially, but overall materials and resources are being lacked in right now. It's this reminder that the reason we all make bad choices, right? We all make choices that don't benefit us in one way or another, and yes, it is inherently a loss we have to take sometimes, but it's a lesson that we learn. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all this up and reiterating this is because, again, with the fool with the term of like acting brand new, there are lessons that we learn through all of this, right? And this is why we have the Hermit card to reflect on the choices that we're making and understanding. And that's the fool. It's like sometimes things don't work out, but it is, and in the Rider-Waite card, it's uh, a young individual that's walking around haphazardly, and they are close to the edge of a cliff, and there's a dog running after them, barking at them as they're not paying close attention. So as you see here, this is depicted as an individual with a cellular device. Well, we can only assume it's a cell phone, and I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like a little text bubble, and it looks, inside of it has a little cartoon skull. Essentially depicting that something's not going well, right? But as you see here, this individual is wearing earrings that have the all-seeing eye, and then here on the lobe is a star. This is supported by the moon. So visually, we have hope, right? We wear hope here. We're like, hope for all the things that we consume. I hope for these things, right? Hope for love, hope for like well wishes. It could be anything. Now we have the moon. The moon is in reference to intuition, trying to trust your gut. And sometimes when we have the all-seeing eye, we also have people that tell us, be careful. Be careful. And as we're growing, we all reach a phase in our teen years, and some people don't grow out of that phase where it's, despite being told and provided guidance, we don't fully listen because we want what we want, right? And that's why, again, the stars here with the idea of hope. We hope for something better. You know, we're hoping that the choices that we're making are going to be for the better. But again, we have the moon, where at some point we have to trust our gut, because there's always going to be that inkling and wanting to play the fool and wanting to maintain that unhealthy hope that things are going to work out, while the situation is just replaying itself, that things are not working out, right? The fool, especially with the Hermit, are major lessons and reminders that it's time to reflect and go within. If you don't want to be the fool, quit acting brand new. You know the choices that you have to make. And if you know that the choices are not leading you to where you want to get, and you're just going to be acting brand new, you need to reflect on what's really going to make you feel better. You have the power to do it. Now it's time to quit acting a fool, look at the bigger picture, and make the right choice. And when you do, you will come to the Eight of Cups. The choice is yours. The Eight of Cups is another indicator of you have the ability to choose any one of these to drink from. You have that choice. The balancing act is up to you. So I'm going to end that right there. And let's go into, whew, I feel like a lot of lessons were taught today. Mighty Fates, what additional messages do you have to add to this lesson? These words of wisdom. We've got 2 cards today. Oh, speak truth. We have speak truth and we have transmute. This is a beautiful card. So let us see what speak truth has to say. Again, you know, these are all, I mean, you're here for a reason, right? You're seeking for guidance, and I am just sharing what I hear. So, speak truth. Speak truth says, this card is asking you to tap into what needs to be brought out of you. It extends beyond speaking and into embodying what truth of yours needs form. Your soul, heart, and body are always trying to communicate with you. Maybe you find yourself mysteriously drawn to a subject, art form, or genre. Maybe you realize you are buying every purple thing you see. All these things, whether small or large, are our heart's longing. It is an ember of our truth trying to light within us. In order to nurture that flame, we must breathe life into it, embody it, speak it, embrace it. Tap into your truth in any way you can and give it power by naming it however you feel called to name it. Like I said, this just reinforces the High Priestess and the Magician message of, you know, now's the time to, if you had not yet set your intentions, now is the time to do so, because it is time to speak some truth to what you need to ask for yourself. Transmute. We have, this is one of my favorite words right now, is transmute. Here we go. Transmute. Within you lies the ability to take dense energy and turn it into a lighter and higher vibration. You can do this in response to constricting situations, difficult relationships, or blockages within your internal landscape. Sometimes we do not need to consciously work at the issue, but simply have the intention of doing so. This card is an invitation to identifying that which needs to shift and create a sacred container for what you want to transmute. So, again, reinforcing all this feeling, everything that we've been experiencing the last couple of days in regards to the Cancer full moon. You need to speak what you intend to manifest. You need to cut the bullshit and be real with yourself. These two go very, very hand in hand. As well as transmute with the Magician and the High Priestess. You are more than capable. You need to stop acting a fool. Look at the bigger picture from a different perspective. Really internalize what it is that you want to manifest. So, that being said, let us finish out with the Animal Spirit Guides. Animal Spirit Guides, what words of wisdom do you have for our watchers as we close out this message? Turn knowledge into wisdom with the Wolf Spirit. This is the perfect card. Woo! Perfect card for this. I don't think I've ever pulled the Wolf Spirit. I want to say ever. It could be a lie if I say ever, but I feel like it's not one that I've pulled anytime during a reading, for sure. Wolf Spirit. Wolf Spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of wolf spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. Woo! What is unknown is still yet to be discovered. When wolf spirit appears, you are being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning or you don't have to know something. Be open. Be humble. Be teachable. And the world will open itself up for you like magic. Now is the time to look into the world with reverence and awe and insatiable curiosity. You will never grow old if you are willing to keep learning. Wolf Spirit is waiting to be your mystical, loving guide. Beautiful message, especially when we're talking about learning and wisdom. Oh, I love this. I love the message from Wolf Spirit, especially with everything that we've just covered right now. You have that ability. You can speak that truth. You can transmute it and turn all that knowledge you've learned from the lessons and turn it into wisdom to make wise choices. I sincerely hope this message helped. I love all of you. This is not bashing anyone. This is sincerely messages to help and assist you. I hope they help, and I'll see you guys next time.